So I'm here today, thanks to the good folks at Dorks Music, to talk a little bit about synthetic reeds. So synthetic reeds have actually been around for quite a number of years, but it's only more recently that they've really kind of taken off and more people are using them. And there are well-known saxophonists who now play exclusively on synthetic reeds. Probably one of the best examples is Arno Bornkamp, the great Dutch classical saxophonist who plays on Legere reeds now. So you might wonder why you might want a synthetic reed, and there are a few reasons people tend to use them. One of them is that they tend to last a lot longer than cane reeds. So you might have one single synthetic reed lasting as long as you might find a whole box of 10 cane reeds lasts. They are much more expensive than a single cane reed, but obviously you get that much longer out of them. The other big advantage of them is they're kind of always ready to go. They don't suffer from changes in temperature or humidity. You don't even need to moisten them before you put them on and start playing. And that appeals especially to the sort of people doing pit work where they're playing lots of different instruments, switching between them, and you've got to just pick it up and it's got to work straight away. So that's another big advantage of synthetic reeds. I'm not going to talk too much kind of about the details of how they're made and everything, but basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to play you using a synthetic reed and also using sort of regular cane reed, just so that you can hear the difference between them, or see if you can hear the difference. And I'm not going to tell you which one is which until afterwards, so you can see if you can guess which is which. So for this test, I'm using Legere Signature synthetic reeds. They seem to be by far the most popular at the moment, certainly the best that I've tried. I'm actually using a strength 3 1/4, and a great thing about the Legeres is that they do come in quarter strengths, which is nice. So for someone like me, I usually use Vandoren Traditional Blue Box reeds, and I tend to either pick the harder reeds from a box of strength 3s or pick the softer ones from a box of 3 1/2. So probably my ideal strength is a 3 1/4, and Legere, luckily for us, do those quarter strengths. So as I said, for this test, I'm going to use a Legere 3 1/4. And then I've got a Vandoren Traditional Blue Box Strength 3. So that is kind of, for me, my preferred cane reed and my preferred synthetic reed. So you can hear a straight shootout between the two of them. So this is reed number 1. And now this is reed number 2. So now you've heard both of the reeds, I can tell you that the first reed was in fact the synthetic reed. So that was the Legere Signature strength 3 1/4, and the second one was the cane one. So that was our Vandoren Traditional strength 3. So it'd be really interesting to know if you were able to guess correctly which one was which, and also which one you preferred the sound of. So do let us know what you think in the comments. From my point of view, I have to say I still prefer the cane reeds. When I perform, I always use Van Doren reeds. I always use cane. For me, they've got a slight richness that you don't get out of the synthetic ones. I will say, when I first tried the synthetic reeds, I was very sceptical of synthetic reeds, and I thought, oh, I'll go and try one just to see. And I was actually amazed at how good they are. If there was suddenly an end to supply of all cane reeds and it was possible to get them, and I had to perform on synthetic reeds, it would by no means be the end of the world. And to be honest, an awful lot of the audience probably wouldn't notice. But I do like the feel of the cane reeds, and for me, they're what I'm going to stick with. I like the richness. But synthetic reeds are worth seriously considering. And I do own one. I've got my own Legere that I do use from time to time. When I particularly use it is if I've got a day of teaching, and I know I'm going to be putting my sax down, picking it up. I don't necessarily want to have one of my best cane reeds on for that, because it's going to have constant changes in kind of drying out when I put it down and then being picked up to be played. So Legere reed is perfect for something like that. You can use it and pick it up and it'll always work. It's always going to be the same, and you don't have to worry about kind of using up your best cane reeds. I did once, in an experiment with my quartet, do a rehearsal on a synthetic reed to see if anyone noticed. And in fact, no one commented at all. So either they weren't listening, or the difference is actually really small, and you can kind of judge for yourself listening to the recordings. So overall, for me, I still prefer the cane reed, but I think for a lot of people, synthetic reeds are well worth looking into, worth trying out. It kind of depends on what kind of playing you're doing, really, and also whether you're attracted by the saving of one reed lasting a really long time. I would say the synthetic reeds I've tried, the Legere Signatures, seem to be some of the best. They're my favourite ones. But anyway, hopefully that gives you some food for thought on the difference between cane and synthetic reeds.